Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 10th of April for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you a collective overview that we can all relate to, but please stay with me as I explore each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces in much greater detail. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, it's great to have you with us. This is very much a community, so please share any thoughts you have, and I'd be honoured if you would subscribe to the channel. So please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. However, if you would like to understand how more serious astrology can play a role in your life and your decision making, if you do give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can prepare for you your life roadmap report. This will help you to get a much more intimate understanding of the patterns that have played out so far, but how you can overcome the challenging ones and seize the more positive ones more firmly. Also, in my special package of 30% off, you can get your 12-month personal forecast, totally unique to you. Now please see below for more on that, but if you don't know your time, if you can give me your date of birth and your place of birth, I can produce your solar chart. This won't have an ascendant, it assumes the moon at midday, but if you really enjoy my YouTube videos, you can align it with your sun sign really well. And again, the special offer applies to that too. Again, please see below for more. Now this week begins with the Sun racing towards an exact conjunction with Jupiter in the sign of Aries. Now this is one of the best aspects you can possibly have in astrology. The Sun, of course, is about our raw energy and our desire to achieve things, but Jupiter is very much about expansion and it's about optimism, and it can in traditional astrology be linked to fortune. When we put the two together in the first zodiac sign of Aries, we're talking about the fire of that sign sparking greater confidence, momentum, thrust. So a lot of excitement reaches a peak on Tuesday. They're still going to be allied to one another really well right through this week. But if there is something you want to inject with fresh energy, this is a great time to do so. However, this can be a complex week for relationships, because Venus also moves on Tuesday into the sign of Gemini, where it's very flirty, very sociable, great for mixing and mingling, or even sending those cheeky text messages. But it forges a very profound link with Pluto for the rest of the week. So I feel that there can be conversations, because both are in air signs, which can help us to really understand who's really in our corner. But conversely, stern Saturn, very much to do with restrictions, is forging a tense right angle to Venus. So if there are any relationships in your world which aren't working very well, I think this is a week that's going to flag them up, despite the innate positivity of the Sun's conjunction with Jupiter. But there is another irony, because the North Node, obviously mainly usually reversing, forges a very stable link with Saturn. So if we've done something in the past which has been a good deed, we've helped someone, we've really invested in some way, perhaps even been generous around our resources, I think something can come back to us in a positive way. But the quarter moon, which occurs on Thursday, is in the sign of Capricorn. So those relationship snags may be around professional ties as much as personal ones. Jupiter's involved in that event too, so that's telling. And it's asking us really to stay grounded. For example, if we felt we had such a super duper idea and we really felt that everyone should be just in awe of its magnificence, the chances are that somebody in a position of influence, someone who's been around a bit longer, someone who's quite experienced, who could be important to the next phase of the development of this, whether it's the bank manager, a business advisor, an investor, someone in the family, or perhaps even a boss, it's important to keep those more traditional people on side. So we need to make sure that anything we are promising we can deliver on in a meaningful and tangible way, which is very Capricorn. However, by the end of this week, Mercury does just edge forwards, although it is slowing down, ready for its retrograde, which begins next week, into a conjunction with Uranus. So some kind of innovation or unusual idea around how to use our resources could manifest itself as this week draws to a close. But please stay with me as I go through each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. So Scorpio, your week commencing the 10th of April forecast sees Venus on Tuesday make its way into a very passionate part of your situation, very much to do with desire. If this rings a bell, it's because your traditional ruler Mars was in this location in Gemini from August the 20th round to the 25th of March. So there was a lot of focus in your readings during that time about getting what you need in terms of improving your long-term financial situation, or perhaps even enjoying some challenges or some raunchy encounters. Now Venus obviously is much more coquettish than Mars, and this location can be good for shared resources. So if you're involved with a business situation or you're trying to sell a property, this could be a good time to push that forwards. But in terms of romance, I think there's a more spiritual desire for intimacy and closeness, whereas Mars is very much about the instant gratification. Now, of course, also on Tuesday, we have the Sun's combination with Jupiter. But for you, this occurs in the 6th house. And I think the great thing for you about that is that this can be very good for your physical vitality. If you have been feeling a bit drained, and it really wouldn't be a surprise, I feel this can be very restorative. Also, if you're looking for a job, this can give you a more upbeat vibe. You can believe that changes are possible for you. Now Venus is going to be forging an immediate, very positive link to your modern ruler of Pluto, and that's in the part of your horoscope to do with your deepest emotional feelings. So if there is somebody that you can connect to in terms of attraction, but also in terms of feeling very comfortable and at ease around them, that's going to be an added bonus. But because Saturn is squaring up with Venus in your sector of romance is Saturn, I feel that in an existing relationship, if things are a bit clingy, or you feel that you're not getting enough space, by the end of this week, as Mercury in your opposite sign comes into an exact conjunction with Uranus, you may want to find a little bit of separation or space. Now the quarter moon occurs in house 3 for you, squaring the Sun and Jupiter in house 6. This is the classic aspect of doing a bit too much. So as the week develops, don't set yourself any kind of big list to achieve at home in terms of do-it-yourself or domestic tasks, because you probably will end up actually feeling a little bit stressed. What's better to do is to make a list of the things that are an absolute priority and go through them one by one, and that will give you a sense of achievement as this week draws to a close.